Hello YouTube, Players here, and today is just a very quick video to show you the settings that I use for my single player ARK Survival Evolved Let's Play videos. A couple of people wanted to know what settings I had for that. I looked up a load of stuff, a load of tips, a load of advice, and sort of had to play around with a couple of episodes to find what I think are the best settings for me personally, especially when I'm doing a Let's Play series, to take out some of the really monotonous grindy stuff. You kind of have to do that as well because the game is designed for playing in multiplayer tribes, so things are supposed to progress reasonably quickly because there's loads of you doing stuff, but obviously on your own that's a little bit slower, so you have to kind of adjust the settings to balance that out. So most of these at the beginning I haven't really changed at all, so difficulty level, dino damage, all of this stuff I just stick to the single player settings. You can see them all there if you're wondering exactly what I've got them as. The XP multiplier, so I put this up to 2.55. I have tried this higher and I have tried it lower. This seems to be pretty much the sweet spot for me when I'm doing videos on it, so that the game keeps progressing at a very sort of steady pace but not sort of monotonous. Taming speed I've up to 10. I may play around with this more in the future, but at the moment, early on in the game, this seems to be pretty ideal. It's not to the point where like I can instantly tame any creature I want, which would just be over the top, but it's also not to the point where I'm having to wait like an hour, 2 hours for a tame to happen, which of course if I'm trying to tame something for a video would be ridiculous. So 10.0 is the speed I've got it at. A lot of people put this way higher, and that might be something I do as I get further into the game when I'm getting like much higher level tames and much more demanding creature tames, but for the time being early on this is more than enough. It balances quite well. It still feels like a challenge, but it doesn't feel monotonous. So 10 is the speed that I've got there. None of these have changed. I haven't changed any of this. So harvest amount is the next one I've changed. This is up to 1.65. This just helps you get supplies a little bit more quickly. Ideal, obviously, if you're doing a Let's Play series, you're trying to go like between cuts to go and harvest a load of material so you can build something. 1.65 seems to be absolutely perfect for me at the moment. Again, it doesn't feel like so over the top that I feel like I'm cheating or like jipping the game, but it does feel smooth enough and quick enough to keep things moving along without me getting bored or having to spend hours and hours hitting like one rock to try and get a bit of metal or something like that. What else did I change? So, Dino character food drain I put to 2.5, and this was a suggestion based on taming. This was the sort of level that you want it at, so that when you are trying to tame them, they're getting hungry, they're eating, and the tames will work effectively. Anything else that I changed? So I know that I didn't change health or anything like that. Did I change any of these? I think these are all pretty much the single player defaults. I haven't changed much here at all. One thing I did absolutely change, here it is, show map player location. So I changed this. If you hit this little tick, when you pull up your map in the game, you will actually see where you are. There'll be a marker to show where you are. This is perfect if you're trying to explore like the whole map in the game, and you want to know where you've been to and where you haven't and where you are at the moment. This just makes it so much easier to navigate your way around. I don't know why you wouldn't want to have this on, honestly, unless you were sort of playing the game and drawing out like a physical map as like an exciting thing to do for yourself. It's just super useful to have that marker there, so I have that on as well. None of this other stuff at all has changed, so it's very minimal what I've changed, but it seems to work really well for doing videos on YouTube and for keeping things progressing at a good pace, but without being over the top. Okay, so now onto the advanced tab. I'll show you everything on here just because alone there'll be people that want to have it exactly how I've got it. So I'll show all of these just so you can see everything there is. I haven't changed hardly anything. I don't think I have changed anything at all on here, saying that actually. So if we just have a look around here. Yeah, so I think this is all just the default settings. Yeah, I haven't changed anything at all on here. None of these. No. So these are all of my settings. I'll just scroll through them a sort of fairly quick pace, just so that anyone wants to copy it exactly the same that may have changed their settings already and wants to put them back to this. Here they are for you to see. And now as we get to the player stats per level, this is where I have changed some things again. So I've upped the stamina to 3.009. I know it's a bit of an odd number. I had to play around. This seemed to be pretty much ideal for what I needed personally. I didn't want to be like not being able to run to get anywhere. I didn't want it to take forever. This doesn't give you like superhuman powers to run all the time, but it does make it a little bit better than the default, and that's the sort of level that I'd recommend for anyone wanting to do a similar sort of thing to what I'm doing. All of the rest, as you can see, 1.0 are the same. The only other one I have changed is weight, and I definitely recommend everyone to do this, especially if you're playing a single player. I've upped my weight to 6.1. You could even up it way more than that off the start. I didn't want to because I still want to have to like progress and level everything as much as possible to make it authentic. But weight 6.1 seems to be pretty good for when you're starting out. It can be super annoying if every time you're trying to pick something up, your pack is instantly getting full. Nobody wants to have that happen. Over encumbered every like 2 seconds, and it's just really frustrating, especially until you start building a house and you've got storage containers and all that kind of stuff. So weight up to 6.1 seemed to really help me with that. I'd suggest starting off with that. If you want more than that, go for it, add a little bit more weight. At the end of the day, you want this to be perfectly tweaked to how you want to play. So if you're doing any of this and you're finding something is not quite right, change it about. No, you know, especially if you're playing on single player, it's not really something that you should feel bad about. The whole point of this is to make the game enjoyable for you. These are just the settings that I'm recommending for someone else that's doing a Let's Play series early on in the game. For me, they seem to have worked pretty well, so that I can spend a good amount of time progressing and leveling the game, but at the same time keep things moving without any difficulty. And everything else is still on the default, so I haven't changed any of these, but again, I'll just quickly scroll down so you can see all of it, just in case you've changed yours and you want to see what they are. The engrams, allowed engrams, nothing else on there. So that's all of my settings, guys. The main things that I definitely suggest changing are the weight. Like, that was a huge one for me. And the taming speed. You don't want the taming speed at the default, especially on single player, because it just takes forever and ever. And it's just not as fun if you're waiting hours and hours for it, especially for me. Like, I just wouldn't be able to do that. I don't have the time to sit and wait for like 3-4 hours while the tamer happens. So upping that a little bit to whatever you need is definitely a good idea. But yeah, that's it. A couple of you wanted to know these. These are just my recommendations. Have a play around. Feel free to change whatever you like. Let me know if you are using them and if you do find them useful. And if there's anything on here that you would recommend me to change that I haven't, please do let me know. Like I say, I'm still fairly early on in the game. I'm still getting to grips with it, so there may be things that I'm not aware of that would be useful. So yeah, if you've got any tips for stuff like that, let me know. But hopefully this has been useful to some of you out there, especially those that wanted to play along exactly the sort of same way that I am. Here it is, all for you to see. So hopefully you've enjoyed that one. Alright guys, take care of yourselves, and peace.